For those of us that don't know, I'm actually a huge Harry Potter fan. Check this out. That's right, folks. We've got Bri Bear, who's a Gryffindor. By the way, first off, a big reason why I did not want to title it the perfect morning routine or the perfect evening routine is that I fully understand that everyone is 100% different in their approach on things. My way of doing my morning routine or my evening routine is wildly different than other people. And that's just because we're all wired very differently. When you think about your entire day as a whole, the entire 24-hour day, a lot of the times we put a lot of emphasis on the 8 or 9 hours that we are working, which is arguably the time that we have the least amount of control in. So what I want us to kind of think about more so is the time before we jump into work and the time after work. When we go through and we start off the day properly and we end the day properly, it's really hard to have a really bad day in the middle. So let's talk about just the importance of what we should be prioritizing within that 24 hours. We've got the 8 to 9 hours that are spent to work, but the next thing that I think we should be really focused on is sleep. That is a huge part of what I think really does play a big role into our work life and also our personal life as well. So when you take a look into sleep, obviously upon doing some research, we love the man, the myth, the legend, Thomas Edison, because he invented the snazzy little light bulb. And because of the light bulb, prior to the light bulb being invented, the average person would sleep about 10 hours a night. Now, with the invention of the light bulb, the average person sleeps 6.51 hours. We went from 10 to 6.51 hours because of lights.
Just because it's, so obvious how much energy you're playing with, like how many hours of sleep are we talking about? Like what's a good night sleep for you?
I slept last night from 12 to 8. I got up, ate breakfast, and I went back to sleep from 8:30 to 12:30.
Studies have linked sleeplessness to irritability, anger, depression, anxiety, mental exhaustion. So it's important that we try our best to prioritize in the 24 hours that we have as much sleep as possible. Next thing I want us to think about when it comes to our morning or evening routine is exercise. Studies have shown that doing some sort of physical activity has the same effects on the brain as taking a little bit of Ritalin and a little bit of Prozac, which affect our mood and our focus. So we have been given through our bodies the ability to enhance our mood and enhance our focus just by doing some exercising of some sort. So I think that's definitely something that if you're interested in figuring out, okay, cool, what type of routine can I form for myself? Figure out, can exercise be a part of maybe your morning routine or should be a part of your maybe evening routine? Now, here's the thing. Some would argue that by doing your physical activity, your exercise before your day starts as a part of your morning routine, the effects that it has on the brain do last about 12 hours. So with that being said, to get the full effects of the 12 hours, maybe attempt to try to do that in the mornings. However, some of us have crazy busy schedules. Some of us are parents. Some of us have multiple jobs. And so it might not be feasible to put it into your morning routine, which is totally fine. Hey, maybe do it for like a lunch break or after work as well. Another one of my favorite things to add either to your morning or your evening routine is learning. You might ask yourself, why? Why should I prioritize learning when there's so much? Oh my gosh, there's a neighbor of mine that's staring at me. We are locking eyes. Maybe when it comes to the current position that you're in right now, by learning, listening to podcasts, finding yourself a mentor, it'll allow you to eventually get promoted into a different position just by, studying the craft a little bit. Or even maybe right now you're currently at a job that isn't your career where you see yourself, kind of doing long term. And so spend some time outside of whatever job that you might be in learning, so that way whatever career field you want to get into in the future, you can be obviously the best candidate. So maybe if in your heart you're just like, man, I really want to learn how to play a new instrument, play a instrument, learn how to play the guitar, play the piano, whatever the case is, YouTube is your friend. So I would highly encourage you to, it doesn't have to be like reading a book, listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks. Some people are like, hate that stuff. They're like, ew, get me away from that. I graduated college, graduated high school, and I don't want to do that ever again. Totally fine. Maybe pick a skill that you've always wanted to learn and get better at, and spend some time each day getting better at that during your morning or your evening routine. Next thing that I think would be highly beneficial, journaling. I remember I actually started my first journal like 11, 12 years ago. I still have it. All of my best friends that have stayed with me have actually seen this be a part of my morning routine, which is I will literally grab my cup of coffee and I will sit on the couch and I will just journal. I'll go through and I will journal a couple core things actually. I'll go through and I'll talk about anything that I really enjoyed about the day prior that I want to start off with. So like, what are some good wins from the day prior? I'll talk about things that did not go well, couple lines on that. I'll talk about, especially pertaining to my goals, or is there anything that I have to adjust? So that way, the things that maybe didn't go well the day prior, I can prioritize and actually improve for the next day. I'll sometimes do gratitude as well, which is a lot of fun. In the mornings, I also do my morning devotional, so I'll usually go through that in the Bible app, and sometimes that'll trigger some things that I want to talk through within my journal, so I'll go through and I'll journal some devotional notes in there. So just different things that you can journal. It does come off a little intimidating for some people that have never journaled before. I would highly recommend, there's this 5-year journal where you literally, it's a line per day, every single day for 5 years, and it keeps track of just like that one line every single day that you can go back to and like see maybe there was like a big win that you want to recognize or something that you're grateful for. Historical figures from back in the day like George Washington and Abraham Lincoln all kept a diary, folks. Like, journaling was kind of like a hard flex back in the day. So I would highly encourage you to do some research on or even reading through some of their entries. Like, how the heck were we supposed to know what Ben Franklin did back in the day? Well, guess what? Homeboy kept a journal, a diary with everything that he would do on a day-to-day basis. The way that he would start his day with his morning journaling, he would be like, what good should I do today? I'm like, wow. How intentional is that? And at the very end of the day, he would journal, what good have I done today? Let's just jot that down too. One of the parts in my evening routine is ensuring that all dishes get taken out of the sink and moved into the dishwasher. I don't like dishes in the sink, especially for the next morning, because then I wake up and I'm like, oh, there's a mess already. We're starting off on that foot. Love that for us. So part of my evening routine is to take a quick 5-10 minutes to put everything into the dishwasher. And I'll typically run the dishwasher in the evenings if it's filled up. And then what I'll do is that'll run, and then in the mornings as I'm making my morning coffee, if the dishwasher is clean and ready to go, part of that morning routine is to put all the dishes away. And I just like it that way just because, like I said, having a clean sink allows me to just end the day with another win, which I think is a lot of fun. That wraps up our video. If you stuck around till the very end, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Hopefully you got a tip or two on what to add to your morning or evening routine. If you have not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Subscribe already. Leave a like, a comment, share with a buddy that needs a little mid-year inspiration on how to spice up their life a little bit. And yeah, I'll see you next time.